I have a nice penthouse with a roof garden, camellias in full bloom and my lilies are going out, but it's like a weird and wacky vacation. You know what I mean? The lockdown could hit iconic fashion designer Zandra Rhodes, as the Real Marigold Hotel has just landed on our screens and she remembers her glorious trip to India. She has had the chance to make the trip of a lifetime with other celebrities such as Bond girl Britt Ekland, Duncan Bannatyne, and Paul Checkle. It was a fabulous experience, she beams. Britt is an old friend anyway, and legendary cricketer Henry Blofeld is known as the man with the golden voice if you are my age. She chuckles. It was a great experience to be plonked with people I didn't know well and to have an adventure. And of course, I love India, so the culture shock didn't bother me. But I'm not sure they all liked it, she said, clearly remembering some difficult moments from the trip. Despite the fact that some guests in the series, Zandra don't know who, did not enjoy the experience, there were factors that made it difficult, even for seasoned travelers. Blimey, we had to organize a night's sleep for ourselves when we arrived, exclaims Zandra. I was lucky that every time I went home before I was very well looked after, but we were all there, getting our own train tickets and losing myself and all kinds, she says laughing. I snuck in and had a cup of tea with the woman who had been making all the pearls for me for years on my dresses, so it was wonderful, she smiles. I had to leave the show early because my partner fell ill. But I still had a great time. The fashion icon unfortunately lost her longtime partner Salah in June of last year, and has returned to her hometown of London for the moment, selling her home in Sandy. It is obvious that she feels the loss even more in the current climate. I have a lot of work to do, she says. My partner and I lived in San Diego, so when he died, I packed my bags because I didn't need a huge house, but I ended up putting a lot of things into thinking. I see. Well, it's funny how life goes, huh? But I find it even more difficult because I like working and being with people. I can ignore them, don't get me wrong, she laughs, I just like having people on my mind. A lot can be said for a nod or a smile, she says sadly. My sister lives around the corner from my apartment in London and she calls me every morning and every night to make sure I'm okay, she says. But the life we had together in America was pretty wonderful. It worked, I worked. It was perfect for me. A self-proclaimed workaholic, Zandra graduated from Design University in 1963 and made a name for herself in the fashion industry in the early 1970s. Although she became one of the most fashion designers most prolific in the UK with loyal customers such as Princess Diana and rock stars and models, she is very modest about her accomplishments. When I started, nobody bought my creations, so I opened a shop with Sylvia Ayton, another emblematic designer who made the Wallace store a success, and it became rather trendy, says she. When it closed, I thought, I'm not giving up now. She laughs. I had someone show me how to make patterns. I opened a studio in Bayswater, London, and put on dresses. Then I took them to America and I was greeted by the editor-in-chief of American Vogue who praised them, photographed them on Natalie Wood, and then I started selling my dresses in the best New York. Here. The way Zandra reflects on her career in such a nonchalant way makes us think that she doesn't like to brag about her success. In fact, when we ask her about her friendship with Princess Diana, she scares. She was a very shy woman, she said softly. I noticed that she was biting her nails. She also downplays her pieces that she created with rock legend Freddie Mercury. He and Brian May came over one night and I gave him the pleated top you've always seen him in, she smiles. During our conversation, Zandra's phone rings constantly. Oh, I'm good to ignore it. Don't worry, and it's clear that she likes a natter. In fact, she reminds us regularly that we can discuss anything. But she has a pretty good reason why returning to her career isn't her favorite subject. It makes me feel too old, she yells. But when it comes to looks, Zandra promises never to change her style as she gets older. I will never, ever have grey hair, she tells us. I have my hair bleached every 8 weeks and I even recolored it myself in between so that it doesn't get too pale. I like it and bright. Her quirky style certainly makes her stand out in the crowd and a sense of individuality is something she had from a young age. My mom encouraged everything I wanted to do and I think a lot can be said for that, she smiles. But being different has always been an accident. I am just me. In fact, I had a letter from a lady who said, I used to travel by bus to school with you and I'm so sorry my friends and I were laughing at you. I replied, it's good, but I never noticed that someone was making fun of me, she said honestly. I have always had thick skin. Fortunately, this industry is impossible if you don't have it. Zandra regularly talks about her late partner and likes to talk about him with pride. The couple met when she was 53, number 8211. She keeps her memory alive by sharing anecdotes and hanging many photos of their fondest memories. My partner with Harrison Ford and various movie stars. He was always so motivated, an incredible man, she tells us. When the couple met at a dinner in New York in 1992, Zandra was impressed with how Salah, of Egyptian origin, was a self-made man. He started out as a usher in a movie theater in Brooklyn and became president of Warner Brothers, she says proudly. Life was glamorous, of course, but we were ordinary at home. We would have 12 people on weekends and I would all make us a 3-course meal from scratch. Usually, out of isolation, Zandra has fashion interns who live with her to learn the tricks of the trade. This is an opportunity for her to enter the kitchen. I have a nice room with 4 bunk beds and I love making lunch for everyone, she says. A good soup of leeks and potatoes that we all eat around the table. Maybe smoked salmon and salsa. A bread and butter pudding, she lists, walking away in a daydream. But cook to sit here alone? Forget it. I miss cooking, doing the dishes and eating leftovers. Number 8230, I'm really fed up. Food may not be high on the agenda yet, but Zandra had a chance to showcase her C. Audie thought the boys had more help than we did. And even if I didn't win, I'm sure I was a better cook than the boys. No doubt. She chuckles. Last year, she celebrated 50 years of fabulous fashion with an exhibition and a book, is still designing and has the ball in place to start her own charity, so Zandra has no P. I should probably slow down, she said shyly. But I think the simplest thing for me is to keep working and die in the middle, she smiles. Retiring is what I am supposed to do, but will I actually do it? Probably not. And with that, Zandra is ready to unpack the boxes, hang more photos and take care of the plants. You know what I mean? She smiles. There is always work to be done. Well, I'll finally get there, huh? With a work ethic like his, we have no doubt. Prepare breakfast just for myself. Tasks or relaxation? Well, my normal routine went up in smoke. Usually, I used Sunday to visit an exhibit and cook for friends. Now I do fun chores. Dishes are not one of them. TV or papers? My television has not worked for years. I've never seen any of the great shows, not even the lovely Aughty dance program. I don't do any papers either, I stick to Radio 4. Go for a walk or stay indoors? I did not go for my government-approved walks, I am very mean. I have to try to get in the habit to keep me fit and healthy.